so that public confidence in our judiciary and our highest court is restored. Mr. President, I will vote to confirm Judge Kavanaugh.
With all due respect to Cory Booker, Susan Collins is Spartacus. Good evening, everyone. I'm Charles Payne. The countdown is on as Brett Kavanaugh took a huge step today to the highest court in the land. Republicans Susan Collins, Jeff Flake, and Democrat Joe Manchin say they are yeses in the Senate confirmation vote. Now, earlier today, the Senate voted 51-49 to advance the nomination, setting up a final vote for tomorrow morning. President Trump tweeting moments after the cloture vote. Very proud of the U.S. Senate for voting yes to advance the nomination of Judge Brett Kavanaugh. Here now to break it all down, Capri Cafaro, former Ohio State Senate Minority Leader. Fox News contributor Deroy Murdock, he's also with the National Review there, contributing editor. And Beverly Hallberg, District Media Group President. Beverly, I'll start with you. Tremendous tension. The drama was there. Murkowski saying no early on. Manchin saying yes. What do you make of the way this is all playing out right now? We're in the midst of something amazing.
Who would have thought that Senator Collins and Senator Graham would have been the champions of the right on this issue? I think it's a clear sign that what happened through this all is that the left overplayed their hand. I think when you started getting into accusations of gang rape, when you had the lawyer Avenatti get involved in this, I think the tactics that were played, what you saw was Senator Collins standing up today, not just for the importance of making sure there is due process, but I also think returning and restoring some respect to the Senate. Because what these leaders are hearing across the country is that while some mainstream media outlets may only want to show people who want to stop Kavanaugh, I think the public has been sorely upset and want to stand up for Kavanaugh in all of this, and they're listening to their constituents. So I thought this was great to see Senator Collins and Senator Graham take the stand. They're going to get a lot of flack. They already have. But I was very proud to see what Senator Collins did today.
Capri, of course, you as an elected representative, you've been through situations like this. For many people, it was sort of a civics lesson, and maybe it should have been for even in Washington, D.C. for that matter.
It's really, my sister used to joke that I would watch C-SPAN 2 for quorum call and would make fun of me about it. But this is one of those days where you're on the seat on the edge of your seat for quorum call and C-SPAN 2 for the Senate. I think that what we saw at the beginning of this was, the procedural vote versus the actual vote. And there was a lot of speculation on whether or not someone like Joe Manchin was going to end up casting, a yes vote for the process, saying let's give him a vote, and then vote no. I think now what is happening is that this is really down to the leadership in the chamber. Had, Susan Collins maybe voted no, you might see Mitch McConnell be out of a job as leader next time around. I think Chuck Schumer is in very big trouble because they see this as weakness in regards to being able to deliver votes on something that is critical as this.
Well, is it also, could he be possibly out of a job because of the way they handled this? I think the Democrats severely overplayed their hand.
Look, as a Democrat, and I've said this publicly, I'm very disappointed in how Senator Feinstein handled this. As someone who has worked with victims of sexual assault in my social work training, if Dianne Feinstein really cared about the well-being of these victims, she should have brought this to the FBI when she knew about it. I think that was overplayed because of the timing issue. And then I also think when you're hunting down people, when these extreme people on the left are hunting down people at their homes and their offices, getting arrested, you know what that does? That says to the right, it gives them something to latch onto, and it says these guys are out of control. Yeah. And it discredits all the rest of us regular Democrats that are, in the middle.
And even more ugly stories are coming out about pressure that was being brought. And I think when this thing is finally written, there's going to be a lot of folks who either are going to be ashamed or should be ashamed, Deroy. Susan Collins brought part of that was part of her message today, right? The process and some of the things that were done to Dr. Ford, to Judge Kavanaugh along the way.
Absolutely right. I mean, as far as political theater goes, this was Broadway. I mean, this Hitchcockian suspense, and I won't believe that Kavanaugh is on the court until he's actually sworn in wearing a black robe with the other 8 justices. Who knows what else will happen between now and then. But as to the point you made, I think, again, the Democrats totally overplayed this. They mismanaged this entire situation. Brett Kavanaugh has written 306 judicial opinions on a wide range of topics. They could have gone through and said, here are the 10 cases that prove why he should not be on the Supreme Court, and have a very intelligent discussion and try to persuade the rest of the public and some of the senators as to why they should vote no. But instead, we get this awful gang rape allegations. Dr. Ford, I think, being victimized. Dianne Feinstein setting off this time bomb that went off something like 5 weeks after she first got that letter from Dr. Ford. And as you point out, Capri, these people confronting senators in the hallway, screaming at them in elevators, and just saying to the whole public that the Democrat Party's absolutely gone bonkers, and this is not your father's or your mother's Democrat Party. Very badly handled.
Yeah, and Beverly, we're seeing the results of that, and a variety of polls in this week are just shocking, whether it's from NPR, Quinnipiac, of course, Fox News polls. I mean, from each one has the same message. There's an underlying tidal wave of enthusiasm on the Republican side that many people just took for granted would not be there for this midterm.
Well, the RNC said they had some of the largest fundraising ever on Sunday due to this all. And I'll even say personally, I had a close friend of mine who is a Republican but doesn't always vote actually say to me, I don't usually vote, but not only do I want to go out there and vote, I want to show up for a confirmed Kavanaugh rally. And I also want to start volunteering for candidates in my area. So I think this was really the momentum that Republicans needed. So not only may Democrats lose this Supreme Court seat, I think they may actually lose a lot of blue seats because of this. I wonder what this does to the supposed blue wave they're going to get, or they thought they were going to get.
Now, you said that was your friend, not you, right?
Correct.
I'm just joking.
You know I always vote, Charles.
I know you always vote. The process. Now, I think everyone universally agrees, though, something's got to be done, right? Because it was just too ugly. Senator Grassley continues to harp on this even later today. You know, again, as someone who's been involved in the process, can it be fixed? Can it be amended? At least have rules of the road so that this sort of embarrassment just never occurs again?
Well, ultimately, it is the majority in the chamber that sets the rules. So, you know, you go back and you look at some of the things Harry Reid did when they were in the majority to ensure up or down votes of judicial nominees, for example, and then Mitch McConnell basically sitting on Merrick Garland. So it is really down to the majority to make those rules. Frankly, though, I think that this is beyond the issue of, you know, sort of parliamentary procedure and about, you know, fundamental integrity of our institutions.
Civility?
Civility. I mean, and our institutions are, I think, incredibly damaged by this process, the credibility of the Senate. And even the Supreme Court, I think, will have a bit of a cloud over it because whether you agree with Kavanaugh or not, there's always going to be something swirling there saying, is this seat, you know, somehow tainted? Is his opinion somehow distorted or politicized?